Good morning this morning. My name is Rochelle Hunter Mosley, and this is Shit Ain't the Same. I know you guys are loving the new set because you guys remember I did a whole rebranding from beauty, business, and banking, and now we are Shit Ain't the Same. So you know that in the climate of everything that's going on in the world, in what time in your life do you say shit ain't the same? I know for me, I say it every freaking day. Every freaking day is something new and shit just ain't the same. So I'm happy to have you guys here and welcome to Shit Ain't the Same. And I had to have my very, very good friend, Jawara, onto the show today because he gonna really talk about how shit ain't the same. Like back in the days when we started doing hair, when he started at Salon 804, and yes, he is Salon 804 alumni. And things that we were doing back then, it's just not the same. So I had to have him on the show to talk about what he's doing now, what he's up to, what he ain't doing no more, what he's still doing, and what will never go away. Jawara.
Hey, Rochelle. Thank you for having me.
Listen, I got an icebreaker question first, right?
Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. If I'm flipping through the dictionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under what word would I see your face?
Crazy. Deranged.
Crazy.
Possibly deluded.
Mm-hmm.
Delusional.
Mm-hmm.
I live in an alternate world because I'm a Pisces. So I'm a dreamer. And I think it just makes me a little off, which works. But sometimes it doesn't for my mind. So yeah, that's where you find me.
I like a
Under
little
all of
off
that.
because you gotta be a little off to have to be in this business.
You have to
be able to deal with all these different personalities,
especially all the spirits that come in and out. And I'm a very spiritual person too, so it's
Right.
like, you know, I have to kind of be able to handle all that energy, especially because hair holds energy. So
100. I tell people that all the time.
all the time.
You can feel the energy from people's head,
every
the
day.
heat from people's
Every
head.
day.
I still haven't learned how to
And we
decompress.
have been around so much different energies our whole life. So you have to kind of be centered to do this. You have to.
Right.
Or else you'll go crazy.
Right. So, well, we all know that Jawara started out at Salon 804.
I started out at 804.
He had so many big dreams. I mean, y'all, he was the hairstylist that could not keep his chair close to his station. He was in the middle of the floor and he was always dramatic and he was always doing all the things,
all
right?
the things.
So
Spraying the hairspray. Like.
Exactly. Like it was just like a whole big thing, right? It was always a production with you, right?
Me, yeah.
So it is not, I'm not even surprised that you are where you are now in your career.
Thank you, Ro.
Right?
Thank you.
I'm not. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I say it when I see you on the social media and I see you just, in your element and just doing your thing.
Thank you.
I'm just so proud of you.
Well, I mean, I think I had the support of the 804 family when I was ideating this. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting that and creating an atmosphere where everyone supported that. We didn't understand what was going on.
We didn't understand. We didn't know.
It was like,
we
what?
Just didn't know.
You want to do what? And I think, I think at the end, the support that I got was really, really cool. Right. So thank you for creating that atmosphere.
Right. During that time, I was just teaching the things that I knew. And I knew that I wanted to set you guys up for retirement. Yeah. And I know you were 20-some years old. You wasn't even thinking about it.
I was like 22, 23.
I need to go get an IRA. She keep telling me this. Yeah. But how important is it now?
Extremely important. I feel like if I didn't do that, I actually started a small one when I was at 804. That's continuing going. But now I'm all set up with them. And I feel like if I didn't start that, and if I didn't have disability, and if I didn't have my IRA, and if I didn't have insurance in a certain way, which I feel like you pushed us to do, I would be up shit's fucking creek.
I know, that's right.
Because this shit ain't no joke. I think people don't understand how much wear and tear doing hair has on the body. I think our community looks at hair sometimes as a hobby, which I fucking hate. It's like, you know how to do hair, it's just simple and easy. And it's like, it's so much on you, on your body. So if you don't have the insurance, like if we don't work, we don't eat.
Exactly.
So you have to set up things in place to make sure that happens. And I think you push that while we were there, and you know, I listened. I was acting like I didn't
I'm
listen.
happy. I'm happy. Look,
I was
they
acting like I
always say
didn't.
that your kids are listening. Your
They
kids are
listening.
listening, and when they
Yeah.
need the information, they're going to use it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to know that you did.
We did.
You listened,
Yeah,
and now
did
you're
that.
using the information, and now you see
100%.
how important it is.
100%.
Like where you are at your age now, and you're like, okay,
Grown.
good and grown.
Good and grown. Shit, I mean.
Good and grown.
Good and grown.
And you know, believe it or not,
I think I came to 804 when I was 21.
you were 20. You were definitely
21, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young.
We were on Fifth Avenue.
Yep.
Like 2007 or
That
6?
was what I had Chance 2011. So no, Chance was what was Chance shit? No, 96. So yeah, 97.
97, and then I came 2007.
2007, yeah.
Yeah, because y'all had been there. Y'all had been there for
2007.
y'all had been there for what was it, like 8 years by the time I got there already?
Right.
8 or 9 years before I got there.
Right.
Yeah.
We were going towards our 10 years.
Yeah. I worked at 804 for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize it until after. I was like, damn, that was 8 years.
8 years.
It just felt like it was going by.
It was going so fast. I mean, time was going so fast. Like I've had the salon now for what, 30 years?
30 years?
30 years.
That's a blessing. God
and
bless
I'm ready to pivot, right?
Really?
And that's why I have the podcast.
Well, I'm very proud of you. I think what you're doing is so amazing. I think it looks so beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
it's true. Shit ain't the same.
Shit ain't the same.
It's not.
Shit ain't the same. So let's dive into the real questions that, you know, I told all my assistants and everybody that, you know, hey y'all, I'm talking to Jawara, right? So of course they have some questions for you as well. So we're going to answer a couple of those questions. But the number one thing that they wanted to know is, you know, I'm teaching the salon part of cosmetology in the beauty industry. But what is it like to really get started in a community where you don't see a lot of you going to Paris and, you know, doing the shows?
First and foremost, I think, let me just go back to when I would leave the salon for 3-4 weeks at a time.
Right.
And I would go to Europe and I would go to wherever the shows were and I would like put myself up in these spaces. I was the only one there. Maybe it was one other person. I had a friend, Felicia, who was also on the team. It was me, her, and that was kind of it. That I felt like looked like me, knew where I came from. So you kind of had to have a head. I was so headstrong about what I wanted to do, and everything around me was telling me, no, this is not for you. So it's like there's a level of persistence that I had to just keep going. And also people at home, when I was saying it in the salon, y'all would be like, huh?
You know,
okay. You know what I mean? So like, I think.
Because when you're in survival mode,
you can't think about a dream.
Leaving the salon for 3 weeks.
My sister always says, when you too busy surviving, you can't dream while you survive.
100%.
And Nikiba. And that resonates with me so much because I feel like there's a lot of times in my life where I was just trying to just survive and do well. And I think a lot of times as Black people in America, you're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Because this place is not really built for us to succeed. So we're looking for something outside of that at times. And I think when I was going out there and I would see no one that looked like me and it wasn't welcoming to me. There was a lot of snares. There was a lot of this. There was it was a little hate. But I'm Jamaican. And one thing about Jamaican culture is
the bring up seat.
The brought up seat.
The brought up
One thing about Jamaican culture is you catch shade as a baby. And that makes any sense. So it's like, you can't say nothing to me that's going to hurt me because my grandmother already said it. You know what I mean? Like we're raised with a certain thing. So I think for me, there was times that I felt like, damn, defeated. But I think being raised in that culture kind of gave me a little bit more strength in the sense of like, I'm not here to fuck around with y'all. Right. Like I'm here to do something. I didn't see any Black hairstylists working in fashion that looked like me, that came from where I came from, that had the idea of like the stuff that we thought were beautiful in fashion. I had to create that for myself. So you have to, I think I had to have an undeniable amount of resistance and resilience, which I think you had to find within yourself. And then also your support system, you know what I mean? I think after a while, after a couple of seasons, when I was coming back to the salon, you was like, I get what you mean, you know? And it was like, you know, and I would educate, and then there came a time when I wanted to invite people into that world. And I think, sometimes when you have resilience, when you're starting out something and you're the first, it's the hardest. It's the hardest, and you just have to be persistent because people will eventually follow,
Right.
But now, backstage is Black people.
It's a lot of Black
everywhere.
People. So you opened the door for a lot. You opened the door for a lot.
Okay. I'll receive that.
You opened the door for a lot. You opened the door for a lot.
I'll receive that.
And I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what I see and the people that you have introduced to this industry, in terms of going abroad, doing the shows, they would never had that opportunity.
Yeah, those opportunities weren't given to us.
No.
I had to step outside of the world that I was in, and being at 804, which was such an insane place to be at in hair, and like the most happening place in Harlem, and traveling from Brooklyn every day to come up there, and I'm doing all these girls, and every day is like a TV show. We said that every day is like a TV show, and like show. I'm so happy here, but also like, but I want to do that, and I think I had to like have a certain amount of resilience to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go over there. I don't care if it's holding pins. I don't care if it's I went over there as an assistant.
And you were okay you were okay assisting, right?
I was okay assisting.
People all the time, when you are in beauty school, the very first thing you should do outside of trying to run and build a whole clientele and all that, assist.
Assisting, I think, is more than just the actual doing of hair. It's seeing how to run the business. It's seeing what has happened to that person, learning from them what to do, learning from them what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? I assisted you. And I remember one New Year's Eve, you did 57 people. And it was me. I think it was Keisha at the time. It's me, Keisha, and I think Derek was helping you too. And you did 57 people in one day. And I said, nope. This is insane. And you would just go. And I was like, this is, and I think as an assistant, I watched that and I was like, oh yeah, I need to understand that it's about the endurance, and it's about, I've learned so much as an assistant. I'm still learning. I'm learning from my assistants.
Right.
I don't think you ever stop learning. And I think that just being an assistant was a very pivotal part of my career. And I'm still assisting in a sense where I'm learning from my assistant. So, I don't think you should ever step over that.
No, I never stopped learning either. I never stopped learning either. And I like to learn from my assistants as well.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate to have an assistant now that's also an educator. So
it's like she assists you, but you also learn from her.
100%. Yeah. I graduated 30 years ago from beauty school.
I also think that when people have the ego that they shouldn't be taught anything, then you stop growing.
Yes.
And you get stunted and you get outdated very fast.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Very, very.
It's not modern.
Yeah. Exactly.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So being in the industry, right, and you've met a lot of people, you work with a lot of stylists, and you worked on a lot of shows. What has been your favorite show to work on first?
My favorite show to work on, I have a lot of shows I would say that I loved working on. I'll think of two particularly. I did a Louis Vuitton show in Miami, which was Virgil Abloh's last showing of Louis Vuitton. That was very emotional because I worked with him a lot.
Right.
And that for me was a memorable show because it was just such a beautiful, he passed a few days before it. Yeah. And that was the last show like he worked on. So I think that's a memorable one for me. The other memorable one is we did a show with Tiffany & Co. And we did a Givenchy show, and it was a collaboration between Givenchy and Tiffany & Co. And we did it in the Tiffany's store on Fifth Avenue. And it was just so nostalgic of like one of my favorite movies, Breakfast at Tiffany's. But what I loved about it is we did like an ode to that hairstyle, but because of who I am, I had to add a hood touch to it. And I think what is interesting about fashion when I entered the beauty realm is I brought a different lens of like street hair hair that we know, hair that we love, which I always thought was beautiful, that they told us that was ghetto and not, you know. So I always try to add a little touch of that to it. So it's like we did these French rolls, they call them chignons in France, and then we did like waterfalls in the front, but it was like a touch, you know, like a touch of hood, which I felt like that's what I learned growing up. That's the kind of hair I learned growing up doing. That's the kind of hair that we did at 804 from time to time. But it's like, I think hood hair is so chic, you know, so I always try to inject a little bit of it into what I do. And that, for me, was one of my favorite shows.
Right.
And shout out to Melissa, because she worked on that show with me. She made sure they had
that. Right. That it
she made sure they had that hood touch, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
And what about what's your favorite person, most memorable person to work with?
It's hard because I like work. I've been blessed to work with a lot of people who are nice. I hear a lot of stories about people who are not nice.
Right.
And I don't think I have one, thank God, because I don't have it all together to work with nice people, not nice people. One of my favorite people to work with is Solange knows.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite people to work with is Beyonce.
Okay.
One of my favorite people to work with, celebrity-wise. When I worked with Mary J. Blige, I was in the bathroom crying the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's like my favorite artist, outside of my mother. So I would be like, excuse me, give me a second, I'm gonna use the bathroom. And I'd be in the bathroom bawling. My assistant did the hair. She was like, God bless the dead, my assistant Letitia Chong. She was like, I got you. I know what you want. Okay, what do you want? And I did it. I did do the hair, but I was like going to the bathroom every 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't, like, you know, I think that she has been such a hair hero for me my whole life. So when I finally got the chance to work with her, that was really, really insane. I don't even know if she knew all that was going on. I think she just was like,
because sometimes they just want to live a regular life.
They just want to be around people and feel regular.
They really do.
Yeah, because
they really do.
At the end of the day, everybody's human.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And everybody should have the opportunity to be in a space where they can just be themselves. And they can be human.
And I think, especially for hairstylists, there's a large responsibility for us to make sure that people feel themselves, they can let go around us, because hair is such an intimate thing. And when it's not done, you know, the relationship with us sometimes up closer than people and their partners. Or people who are married. It's like really insane in the sense of like, there's a certain intimacy there. So I always try to make people feel at home, or, you know, I make sure there's things covering up things, and like, you know, you feel like there's a sense of privacy. Yeah. And not just all out, you know, in the open, like you just don't care. Right.
And it's like in certain conversations that you want to have, you may not want to, you know, have everybody to know. And that's I tell my assistants that all the time, like, have some privacy.
And hair is such an intimate thing. It's so intimate. It's so intimate.
Yeah.
You know, you can see what's going on with somebody, what's going on with their health, what's going on with their life. It's a very intimate thing. So, you know.
And then as soon as the first time people their health is not good, the first thing they lose is their hair.
Or it shows in their hair in a certain way.
Right.
Yeah, where I learned at 804 that you can learn what somebody is ingesting by washing, like looking at what the water's running off the hair.
Exactly. Especially out there relaxing.
Yeah. You know what drug somebody's on.
Already know.
You know, I did not know that hair held so much power until I was working at 804. I learned that.
Yes, hair holds a lot of power.
Rob taught me that too.
And
Shout
energy.
out to Rob.
Yeah. To all of the Salon 804 alumni, like, we are just like so dope. It's like
I pull so much from so many different people, and I think that's why my knowledge is so vast. It's like I learned so much from you. I learned so much from Shelly, Melissa, Lucy, Rob, Derek. Like it was like Ayana. I learned so much, and I'm gonna always keep all of those memories of like little things about hair and life, and you know, so. Really grateful for that experience.
Right. So talking about learning so much, how do you even come up with all the looks? Because when I'm watching and I see all these different looks, I'm like, how the hell? How did he even remember half of this stuff?
I just challenge myself, I think, a lot. Like where I go into this space where I start collecting pictures, old pictures, and go online, and you know, my computer library is so insane because it's like I have everything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, old movies, Last Dragon, you know, like Medicine Society, like so much references that we have so much references of Black people because we do so much to hair.
Right.
I just put it all out and I lay it out and I take elements from different things and just like try to put a new spin on things. And I think I'm always like challenging myself on like how to make things look a little different. You know, when I, you know, as Black people, we start to do hair so in place. So I started to deconstruct that. I said, what if everything's not in place? What if it's a little messy? And you know, messy to us was like, at one point was like, what? Messy? But now,
messy.
you know, now it's like you can have a bed head, you can have all this stuff. And it's like, I think I just like to push the envelope when it comes to hair. And I remember all of it because I love it. I think when you love something, you remember it, you push yourself. When you don't love something, you treat it like a chore. You be like, oh, all right, you know. I remember it because I love it. But yeah, I'm always like taking the element of something, you know. I look at hairstyles, couture like hairstyles, and I'm looking at it. Sometimes it looks too perfect. And I'm like, it needs a little bit of Mary. Or it needs a little bit of Lil' Kim or something. So I do the bang a certain way or I put a color in there, you know. And I think when you are able to pull out elements that people remember, it connects to people. It makes them feel like, I remember my aunt used to do that, but that looks different. You know what I mean? Or like my cousin used to have her bangs like that, but that looks different. He did a little, you know, and I think I just love what I do.
And it's the art of it.
Yeah,
it's the art of it. And it's no right or wrong way to do art.
Right.
It's no,
and I think, you know, art is subjective. Not everybody's going to love what you do. You know, I remember there was a time when it was like, he can't really do no hair because everything wasn't in place. And I'm like, now you see it everywhere, you know, in Black culture where things are unkept and, you know, shit is a little not in place. And I think I love that we're evolving.
Yeah. I know for me, in terms of me and how I make money, I know how to make money in the salon.
Right.
You know me, I'm a work whore.
That's an understatement. I'm like, is this lady gonna have fingers in her 60s? Because she will go like, and you just be sitting there like,
I do so.
It's too much. Like that's work. You work.
It's work. It's work. So I know how I'm making my money, and I know how lucrative the business is for me. But how lucrative is it when you're on the shows and you're on these sets? How was the cash flow with that?
It's for me. Thankfully, it's been lucrative. In the beginning, it wasn't. However, 2024 was very interesting because with the decline of certain things, there comes a decline of a need of certain things. There's certain types of artists with certain types of rates. And I think sometimes the brands are like, well, maybe we don't need the top artist in that field. We could use someone at a lower level. So don't want to say anything, but people like myself found myself in like, oh, you know, they were going for people with lower rates and people who are a bit more.
So did you find yourself tweaking your rates, or did you just not take the jobs?
We didn't tweak the rates, but yes, we did tweak the rates. It's hard to explain. It's like certain projects, certain things, depending on like if I really believed in it. But, you know, a lot of it is based off of like what's going on in the market. If the economy is doing bad, then brands are doing bad. If people are not buying clothes, then brands do bad, and now their advertisement feel different and look different, you know. So I guess it all depends, and I think it was an interesting lesson for me. Hence is why I always believe in having multiple streams of things happening. Even when you're doing really, really well in one thing, I'm a person that always believes to have multiple streams going on. So that's the case now. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in multiple streams as well.
I'm talking about multiple streams.
Yeah, multiple. Like even bigger than
like
what
7 minimum.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
A lot.
Yeah. You know, maybe one is a little slower than the others. Maybe one is the main one. But I think as people, especially living in the tri-state area, you have to be proactive in the sense of like, you know, really look out for yourself and your family. And instead of surviving, like I was talking about before, I think I want to thrive. And then thriving means to be smart about your money. And to make sure that there's other things coming in. And I think we're a country that is built off of businesses, and I think people should have multiple businesses. So that's what is in the works
Exactly.
right now myself.
Exactly. So how is it going to be juggling it all though? Because I know, like this is my baby, right?
Yeah.
But I know when I'm working with this baby, then my other baby suffers.
Right.
So how is it going to be juggling it all?
I'm a little crazy.
Okay.
Which is what I said before.
Yeah.
In the sense that everything that I do, I'm going to make sure it's something that is also me. I'm not just going to be like, okay, let me open up a medical clinic just because I want to open a medical clinic.
Exactly.
So I want to be across it, which means I'm going to have a passion to be across it. So I think I lend myself to it. Right now, I have 4 different things happening, a book coming out, working on a couple projects. And I think everything at this moment, to my knowledge, I think I give myself enough time with everything.
Right.
Of course, I wish there was 2 of me, so I'll give more.
Exactly.
But at the moment, I think I'm juggling it well.
Right.
If somebody doesn't think so, they should let me know.
Well, it doesn't matter with nobody. It does not matter. Look,
yeah, at the moment, I think I'm juggling it well. I think if I do like 2 or 3 more, maybe that's gonna get like,
Yeah, it's like this is what I say all the time. We all have to be responsible for our own story.
100%.
Right.
100%.
And your story is your story, and it's your story to be told.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't be so worried about what other people are going to think.
You want to know what? When I was younger, I was very worried about what people thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
people pleasing.
I
Me
feel
too.
like that hindered me from doing a lot of things. And I think the minute I stopped giving a fuck, my life changed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't completely give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I also am doing something that's not everyone. I'm also am doing something that an industry told me I couldn't do. Some of my peers told me I couldn't do. The world that I live in told me I couldn't do. So once I did that, you can't tell me shit.
You can't tell me nothing. Period. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's it. And then, what about the sacrifices you had to make to even get to this thing?
So much sacrifices. I miss so much family events. I miss so much significant things. I moved to a country where I knew no one. The food was bad. It was gray. It was rainy. I had a little stint of depression because I went from a fast life in New York to like nothing in London. Every day, Monday, nothing. I don't know nobody. I don't have no job. I'm out there trying to make it. So I'm like pushing myself and people are like, we don't know you. We don't know you. We don't know you. We don't know you.
Oh.
And that's why I said the resilience is insane. Like my resilience had to be insane because I left money. I left a salon life. I left working 4 days a week, shooting in New York, doing stuff here to go to a country where I did nothing every day for 6 months other than go out there and push myself and say, I want to work on this shoot with you. I would like to work with you. I would like to work with you. Meet up with photographers, meet up with stylists.
Right.
So when you do that, and you make a career from that, and you go somewhere where you don't know nobody and you really cultivate a life for yourself, can't nobody tell me shit.
I feel like that about moving to New York.
Yeah, that's what you did in New York.
I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. I didn't even know. I came here to model.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't coming here to be a hairdresser.
That's what I'm saying. It takes a certain type of resilience, and I think you've done that, and I think that when you do that, it proves a lot to you that the world is yours. If you could go somewhere that you don't know nobody, you don't have no connections, no nothing, you make it from that. And then when you come into that, you're bringing more people into that world. Yeah, you can't tell you shit.
Nope. What's stressing you out about the beauty industry right now?
These wigs. They won't go away. No. What's stressing me out about beauty industry?
I hate it too.
What's stressing me out about beauty industry? I feel like the art of cutting and styling is dwindling away. That's a bit stressful. I feel like the salon culture is dwindling away. Yes. That's a bit stressful for me because that's a big part of the reason why I got into hair. It's such a community in the Black salon culture that hair is literally the last thing. It's togetherness. It's like you can get anything there. You can meet anybody there. You can meet your babysitter. You can meet your contractor there. Absolutely. It's a community place. That's where like 804 was so that. And I'm worried about the future of that in our culture because I'm also happy about the fact that everybody's bossing up and being their own entrepreneur and doing these suites. But with the whole suite thing, we're losing like the togetherness.
Yeah.
So that's stressing me out a little bit.
And just this social interaction too. And it's just, I think it's it's really difficult for a new stylist to go into a suite and just be by herself or by himself.
Yeah.
You have nobody to bounce things off of.
You don't know what you're doing.
You don't know
what other than your clients telling you, okay, I like it. Like you're not learning. I sat in a salon and watched Lucy do things with curlers that they don't teach you in school.
No.
And I would watch her do it, and I'd be like, let me try this.
Yeah.
And then I would watch Shelly do something. I was like, let me try that with the cut. And then let me, or let me add that to what I do.
Exactly.
You know, and just like watch how people spoke to their clients. Watch how you did all your clients in an insane amount of time. You know,
it's a system.
So it's like I'm learning different things from different people. And even when I was younger, I used to work in this salon in Jamaica Avenue with these Jamaican girls, and they were so dramatic. I think that's where I got a lot of the dramatic thing from. And just watching them, and just watching them do that thing, I think it informed my style, you know. So if I'm in a suite as a new stylist, what am I really learning other than what I see on Instagram?
I know. I tell these new stylists
Bless
all the
their heart,
time.
Lord.
You're using your money. You're using your mother's your pension money to open up these suites. Their whole life savings to open up these suites. And you are not going to graduate from beauty school and be a rock star stylist. It does not work that way.
I think you have to walk the path, and I think it's very good to surround yourself with like-minded people or people who have done it before you that can give you a helping hand. And I've been blessed to have that in my life. I don't know if these new stylists are gonna have that, and that's stressing me out. To answer your question.
I just, it's like the climate of the beauty industry is very scary. You know, shit ain't the same.
It's not.
It's not like it used to be.
The idea of assisting feels like it's dwindling away. Like people feel like they don't need to assist. People feel like they don't want to assist for more than a year.
No, they don't.
People feel like they're better than assisting. So stressful. It's very interesting to see where we head with that.
So if you had to ask yourself a question, if you had to ask yourself now and look at your younger self, what would you tell them?
Why were you so afraid? Why were you so scared to fail? Why were you so scared to succeed? Why you didn't believe in yourself earlier? I would ask myself that, and I would encourage myself to be like, you are that Nick, you are that man. Like you are a boss. You are everything that you see yourself being. You are that.
Right.
So that's something that I would definitely.
So your parents are artists.
Yeah.
So what was that thing that was holding you back to be an artist? Like it's in your blood to be an artist. So what was that fear about?
I go into the space of when I was a kid, it was not cool for a young black boy to be doing hair. It was not okay. It was not like celebrated. So what happens is in society, I was celebrated at home. People were like, yeah, do it, go for it. But I wasn't celebrated out. My sister would walk around and be like, who did your hair? And I would be like, nobody. I would say certain things, and it's like that for a couple of years, it mutes you. It makes you go back into your shell. And it's like, it wasn't the norm. It is the norm. You go into a salon now, you see a whole bunch of guys, but when I was coming up, that wasn't the norm at all. You know what I mean? Or like, it was a problem, you get teased for it, and I would be fighting, and I'm a fighter. Well, I was in my old life. But now, you know, so it's like, and when I would get into that, I would be like, you know what, I'm not gonna do hair because I don't want to be fighting. I don't want to be in a situation. So I think that made me stray from it at an early age, and I think I fell in love back with it at 804. So I did hair as a kid, stopped. Did hair as a teenager, stopped. did hair in my 20s, and kept going.
Mm, mm, mm. So I just want to sum up this conversation with I was gonna ask you what kind of advice you had to our young people, right? But I really want to say, what kind of advice do you have to our young Black boys that are dreaming and that are lost in what it is that they want to do? They may be feeling embarrassed because they're feeling the things that they want to do is quote unquote girl things.
Well, it's two parts of that conversation. It's to the boys and then it's to the parents that have the boys.
Okay.
We have this idea that Black boys are not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to feel anything. They're not supposed to stand up, be a man. And then you get mad when he becomes a womanizer and when he becomes all these things that you told him not to feel when he was young. So there's no sensitivity in him. So it's two parts. It's to the parents to allow Black boys to feel, allow Black boys to hurt, allow Black boys to be sensitive, allow Black boys to do things that are not traditionally looked at as male, things.
Right.
And then to the boys, don't ever dumb yourself down, or else you're going to live a life trying to figure out where you stand and where you can cry because you weren't allowed to. So I think it's very important for young boys to really feel what they're feeling. Cry if you need to cry. Be sensitive if you need to be sensitive. If you want to do hair, if you want to make clothes, do it. Because I think sometimes in our culture, specifically Black culture, I go to the white salons, there's white male hairstylists everywhere. When I was growing up, Black boys don't do hair.
Right. So
it's like, why? It's another level of us stunting ourselves, and I wish that we would just stop that altogether. So I would tell them that if I was to leave this earth tomorrow, that's one of the main things I want to drive into. I think you have to pour into these young boys and let them know it's okay to do these things that are not traditionally what men would do. Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do, because I love the kids. I love them.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm I'm the biggest shitty. I'm Rochelle Ebony.
Right.
So it's like
yeah. And then also like the men that are not the kids that do hair, like they should be
absolutely. Absolutely.
Encouraged. Absolutely. So it's like it starts with both sentences, but yeah. You have definitely been an advocate of the kids for years.
100%. 100%. I love this conversation, Jawara.
I love this too.
I really do. I
so
cannot say
how
much. I can't say it enough how much I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. And just to see how you have taken this whole thing and you have ran with it. And the thing that I love about you the most, and this is the thing that it gets me, it gets me every time. The thing I love about you the most is that you bring people, you introduce people, you pour into people, and life is about service. Yeah. It's about you and it's about me, but at the end of the day, it's about how you can serve others.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you constantly find a way to serve others.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. That means the world to me.
I do. I love this conversation. Before I start crying.
I know, right? Well, you poured into me.
I love it. I love it though.
I think this feels like a
full circle.
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment.
Yeah.
Full circle moment. I love this.
Sure.
Okay, y'all. This has been Jawara. I love him. I love him. We're definitely gonna post a lot of his work and all the shows and the people that he's worked with, And this has been Shit Ain't the Same. And he said so many things that letting us know that shit ain't the same. It's a paradigm shift happening.
It is.
Right?
100%.
And if you don't roll with it, you're gonna get rolled over.
True. That's true.
Yep. Till next time.
That was great.
That was good.
I love that.